Hello everyone, welcome back to Unsarkari. We are starting off with the next set of important topics. So, drones transforming the farming sector, and it is a revolutionizing step under Green Revolution 2.0 that is going to ensure more efficient, more sustainable, and profitable agriculture. So, recently launched Drone Didi scheme aims to empower 15,000 women led self help groups, and that is through by equipping them with the drone technology to provide agricultural services and even promote drone as a service. So it is expected to generate additional income of at least rupees 1 lakh per year for each SHG, contributing to economic empowerment at the same time, sustainable livelihood generation. And it will significantly enhance the precise application of pesticides and fertilizers. So it will hence reduce overuse of chemicals, minimizing environmental impact, lowering the cost for the farmers, and making agriculture as a livelihood option more economically viable too. So, agriculture startups, majorly like Garud Aerospace, will act as an enabler for drone as a service model. So, it should be replicated across different regions, along with women being trained in how to use these drones. The vortex of Golden Triangle. So we call it as Golden Triangle or the Death Triangle also, which is famously known for the drug trafficking. Um, Again, the triangle which is there constituted by three countries, Laos, Myanmar, and Thailand. And recently, this is coming into limelight for the cyber slavery on the pretext of false job promises. So there's nexus of agents operating from India, also operating from outside the country, recently cracked down by NIA and even Special Cell Delhi Police. So it not just involves cyber slavery, but there are a number of other crimes related to this. For example, human trafficking, crypto financial fraud, then the personal trauma that the person has to go through, and the sexual violence, forced labor, and other human rights abuses which are happening along with. So, this growing trend has been highlighted by Interpol and even United Nations Human Rights Office. So, one question which arises is why the youth is getting trapped into this. Now, basic simple reason can be unemployed youth, or we can say that the competition is so much that there is inadequate salary or the salary is very less. So there's always this thing in mind, or this thinking or perception has been created that life in foreign countries or abroad is going to be better. And also there is rise of like contractual jobs when we're talking about the growth in the gig economy also. These can be few of the factors, and hence, it presses the need for more structural reforms in agriculture sector, the urgency of having again a national security doctrine along with a regulator too. So this needs to be prioritized under that. And of late, we have talked about number of cyber crimes which are happening, not just cyber slavery, which is being able to like succeed across borders, but like we talk about digital arrest, the parcel scams, or even scams related to Aadhaar enabled payment systems. And we know cryptocurrency frauds are also on the rise. So, ethical usage of technology becomes crucial. Kolkata as country's science capital. So, literally, when we're talking about science, so we can say that in case of Kolkata, things are the stars naturally aligned, and things like there are different institutes related to promotion of science and technology, and even personalities like when talk about CV Raman sir. So he even was awarded Nobel Prize for the Raman effect 1930. Then there was um, Ronald Ross discovered the female mosquito who spread the malaria. Then Meghnad Saha, the ionizing equation was a landmark. J.C. Bose crescograph to record plant movement and radio wave receiver. Satyendranath Bose discovered class of particles which were later on known as the boson, and later on again even under the CERN experiment which was done in Europe, it was called as the God's particle. And different institutes which are there, like Indian Institute of Science Education and Research. Then there is Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science, where C.V. Raman sir discovered the Raman effect. Then there is S.N. Bose National Center for Basic Sciences there in Kolkata. So you can see that different institutes or the researchers, they've contributed to more natural science and health science journals who've again operated from the location. And even other personalities like Prafulla Chandra Roy. Then we have Amal Rai Chaudhuri. So his Chaudhuri equation became the basis for the proofs of singularity theorems, which were later on used by Stephen Hawking and Roger Penrose. Apart from this, what can be the other constituents of scientific temper? It would include rational thinking, evidence based inquiry, curiosity, open mindedness, critical analysis, then rejection of superstition, humanism, ethical values, and adaptability. So, what all areas are there where we can see such, applications of such like mindset or the thought process would be like in public health also, when we're talking about campaigns against vaccine hesitancy, so they are also relying on scientific temper to combat misinformation and the rumors and the spread of disinformation. In terms of environment conservation, tackling climate changes using research and sustainable practices. In education, talk about promotion of STEAM sector, inquiry based learnings, social reforms also, like addressing issues related to caste discrimination, gender bias, based upon logical thinking and progressive reforms. So, as stated, that to develop the scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry and reform, this is a part of the fundamental duty enshrined under Article 51A, subclause H of the Indian Constitution. Now, health insurance sector is a crucial stepping stone for affordable and universal healthcare, and also meeting SDG Goal 3, which is good health and well-being. So, Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India has a vision of insurance for all by 2047. Now, benefits of health insurance would be helping in reducing out-of-pocket expenditure, reduce multidimensional poverty, improve the standard of living and bring in more certainty. And fourthly, accessibility of healthcare services can better improve. Challenges is we are like still into the discussion that the GST should be removed on the health insurance. Right now it is 18% GST. Then medical inflation is leading to rising premiums for the health insurance. So that is one direct relationship, which is again linked to medical inflation particularly and would impact the affordability. Third is lack of understanding how insurance would work, how insurance would aid particularly by the vulnerable section. So here recently government has introduced Bima Sakhi Yojana or the scheme, where again women empowerment would also happen simultaneously and more awareness can be generated. Apart from this, we have other measures like the new National Health Claim Exchange is there. This is going to help all the stakeholders to work from single platform, reducing the turnaround time, even in insurance also. Second is, again, this is under discussion, debate and discussion, that there should be 100% FDI in insurance to allow the customers more freedom of choice and better services. As there would be more players participating, there would be more competition. Third is one composite license for all types of insurance activities. And the recently one was the Bima Sakhis. It will enable more penetration of health insurance. And in terms of even like when you're talking about the institutes moving forward, like here we see one of the challenge coming up at AIMS, which is wait time for the ortho surgeries has increased to up till 12 months. I can say to 1 year. So here we see that like government has been expanding the network of All India Institute of Medical Sciences across the country under the Pradhan Mantri Swasthya Suraksha Yojana to improve accessibility to quality healthcare and the medical education also. So this is the whole idea about, we can say, what constitutes universal healthcare. It is accessibility, availability, affordability, equity, and quality. So key features of these new AIMS institutes which are under construction or coming up across different locations is the capacity being focused upon, like a 960 bed hospitals, including emergency and IU's facilities. Intake capacity of 100 MBBS students annually would be emphasized. Then, in terms of infrastructure, cutting edge technology for diagnostics and treatment. We talk about again robotic surgeries being promoted. Then, facilities for super specialty and specialty healthcare. Under this also recently government has launched the super specialty hospitals. There should be again would be built across different locations, and there would be 100 such super specialty hospitals. In terms of affordability and accessibility, free and low cost treatment for the economically weaker sections under different schemes. So overall we can say that we need to increase the healthcare GDP allocation. We need to improve doctor to patient ratio. We need to incentivize the doctors who are operating in the rural areas and more multi specialty hospitals and integration of the cutting edge technology. Now, importance of inland waterways. So in India, we have immense potential in this sector due to 14,500 kilometer long of navigational waterways. So development of inland waterways, it will enable easing the traffic on roads, on rails, promote multimodal transport, which will enable reducing the logistics cost. Also, it will boost trade income and promote more of tourism. So challenges is seasonal navigation. Second, infrastructure deficiency like lack of terminals and ports and dredging facilities. Third is environmental concerns. If there would be like degradation from construction and the dredging that would be done. And certain government initiatives in this regard includes Jal Marg Vikas project along the National Waterways 1. So recently we even inaugurated in January the Ganga Vilas cruise, which is the world's longest river cruise, having its like the route from it is passing from Bangladesh also and connecting with Northeast. Then we have Sagar Mala project enhances connectivity of inland waterways with the ports and the industrial hubs. Then we have cooperation with Bangladesh, same regard to enhance connectivity, even under the BBIN initiatives or the body which is there. And more connectivity with the inland waterways would also re-establish connect with the hinterland idea. So National Waterways 1 and Waterways 2 is being emphasized. We need to again come up with certain again innovative ideas, particularly when it comes to inland waterways in the southern states because the rivers are seasonal. So we have Inland Waterways Authority of India taking this forward. Cargo promotion scheme and the scheduled services in terms of again promoting more of trade. So, a life in music and memories. So, here we see that when it comes to dealing with stress, when it comes to dealing with loneliness, or you're going through again something bad, so music and memories come to your aid and they act as they has we can say the power to heal you, not just the individuals but even communities. It helps in bridging the divides of language, religion, and identity. So, for example, it includes ragas like Bhairavi and Bageshwari. We have poetry from Kabir. We have Bhagavad Gita, like Kabir's bhajans are there, Urdu poetry is there. Then another form of ragas includes malkauns and marwas. So they enable you to go in deeply meditative state, and also helps in dealing when you are like having more of self doubts, or there's longing, or you became when these things try to overpower you. So Pandit Jasraj has been important contributed. So we can say all of these things are like seeking the same thing, like love, connection, and peace. So it should be made a part of even the school curriculum also, and be promoted as a vocational exercise. There should be again some like period should be there for this aspect. So even in the universities too, it should be there, and more of our traditional music and memories. uh, the ragas that we have, our cultural heritage is so diverse, it needs to be promoted. On similar lines, again dealing with stress and related to the mental health, we have again one of the ideas being proposed here by again like Times of India started off with Talk It Out series, where expert counselors can give you advice related to how you can deal with the situation. So it is all related to mental health and balance, and even as we define also that what is health. So WHO states that it is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or any infirmity. So in this case, journaling and sharing your thoughts can help you, or like writing it down, like just called thought dump. Need to prioritize self-compassion by dedicating time each day to self-care. So that's also very important. You need to have that kind of an attitude which you're celebrating every single moment, or even like the small achievements. And apart from this, we can say that the measures taken up by the governments in terms of mental health care includes Manodarpan, and this includes both online counseling and helpline services. This is under again the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, which provides psychological support to students, teachers, and families. Then we have Mental Health Care Act 2017, provides every individual the right to access the mental health services. It decriminalizes suicide also, recognizing it's a mental health issue rather than a crime. And in institutional supports, like we have the National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, which is known as NIMHANS. Then also it is focusing upon development of mental health units in district hospitals under the district mental health programs. Then we have Telemanus, which is a 24 into 7 tele-mental health services. And these are the measures being taken up. So far we can just discuss the topics that we have taken up. One is we can say we have discussed in detail about the universal healthcare, be it about the accessibility, the need for multi-speciality hospitals in order to improve the accessibility and the quality. Then we have talked about the reforms in the insurance sector, which are again important from the perspective of affordable healthcare and accessible healthcare in the last mile. Then we talked about the Green Revolution 3.0 and introduction of drone technology, how it can help in bringing the structural reforms needed in the agriculture sector, along with empowerment of women. And then again, equally emphasizing upon the mental health through our music, through our cultural heritage. And then we talked about Kolkata as a science hub through different institutions or contributions coming from different personalities, different innovations, and importance of scientific temper in our daily lives. Moving forward, life is precious. Don't let drugs take control over it. So in this case, you can see how like drug abuse has severe consequences in multiple ways. It affects you in every possible way, we can say. Like, it definitely will cause you infectious disease, HIV, AIDS, loss of health, loss of studies, ruin the family and life, tendency towards crime, anxiety, and depression. So we have talked about this, and in terms of the measures that we have here, like firstly, you can just have a look at what are the challenges. So one is the resource gap which exists. Second is the stigma associated with, again, the mental health and the societal stigma, which leads to underreporting of the mental health issues at the same time. And even like funding aspects, so more allocation of GDP and access inequality. Like few days back, we were talking about this thing also, that the families do not contact the people who are suffering through, again, drug abuse or who are in the rehabs. So that is another challenge. Now, again, related to the cultural heritage of India, if we see one important personality is like Christian Louboutin. So he first visited India when he was 15, and he states that India is not just a country. So he's recently visiting the Hornbill Festival, celebrated around Christmas in Nagaland. So he says that I think India brings to every person a different thing. You experience a different thing. It's a feeling. It is not merely like tangible things that you are like, even if it is related to tourism or different places that you're visiting. The hospitality that you get in India, how people treat you. So in India, you never tick the box. Like you always have certain like wish list or something that you'll be doing this when you're visiting a place, or you'll be going to these all locations. So India infuses into you and it brings you a lot. So you are not feeling like this is your first time experience, or this is something new in the sense you are visiting this place for the very first time, in terms of the hospitality and the treatment, the love, the people which share with you. Farmhouses, banquet halls coming up within 1 kilometer of Sultanpur National Park. So when we're talking about promotion of ecotourism, one is this major violation that we are seeing on the part of, again, commercialization versus the sustainability that we can talk about. So, like, Sultanpur National Park is a Ramsar site declared in 2021, and it holds ecological value, and also it's an important bird area as declared by the BirdLife International. It is home to 320 species. Also, it's important for the Central Asian flyway at the same time, where we see major migratory birds also, traveling to this location. Breeding grounds also are there. So there are rules, there are laws, like 5 kilometer zone from the Sultanpur National like park. You can't have any construction, and also you need to protect the sanctity of this wetland at the same time. Like rapid urbanization is causing a challenge. Hectic urban activities are being noticed. Illegal constructions are coming up. So this was taken up by the additional chief secretary of the forest and wildlife, and apart from this, we have the standing committee of the National Board for Wildlife along with this. So again, we have taken up that the activities related to stone crushing is also been increasing in the Aravallis. So respecting again the ESZ norms, the ecologically sensitive zone is there. Enhance the rules and ensure that there is effective implementation. So, rapid urbanization versus, we can say, ecological sustainability or promotion of sustainable tourism in a way. So, apart from this, in tourism, again, India aims to position itself as a uh, leading global tourism destination by leveraging the cultural heritage and diverse landscape that we have, the historical significance which is there. Now, Vijay Divas, it is observed annually on 16 December. to commemorate India's decisive victory over Pakistan in 1971 Indo-Pak or Indo-Bangladesh War, which led to liberation of Bangladesh. And this day is celebrated to pay tribute to valor, sacrifice, and dedication to Indian Armed Forces. So, on similar lines, we see Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports promoting or organizing one like Vijay Divas Padayatra, where people would be participating, youth of Bharat would be participating to again join the dynamic celebration of courage, unity, and empowerment. So it will inspire, educate, and empower the people. And when you participate, you'll get to know so much, you'll become more aware. Like it will be a journey connecting rural to urban areas, and you'll in a way kind of experience something very different. It is not merely a padyatra to commemorate and celebrate. It's going to be a wholesome experience. So that's one way of celebrating and commemorating. So, as per the World Economic Forum's report on Travel and Tourism Development Index 2024, India's travel and tourism development has been improving majorly in three areas like prioritization of travel and tourism, second in safety and security, third health and hygiene. So we are ranked 39th out of 119 countries, and we have different schemes like uh, for the promotion of sustainable and inclusive development and tourism, which includes Swadesh Darshan scheme, the Prasad scheme is there. So we aspire, we have the vision to create tourist friendly ecosystem which promotes employment, also economic growth and cultural exchange. So we can just break down the tourism into different heads like cultural and heritage tourism. Under this, like conservation of UNESCO World Heritage Sites, we have a program like Adopt a Heritage Site. Then in terms of spiritual hubs, we have Kashi Vishwanath Corridor or Ayodhya Development Plan is there. Recently, we've been talking so much about Mahakumbh at Prayagraj. So that is also going to promote the cultural and the heritage tourism. Then ecotourism and sustainability, so development of adventure tourism in eco-sensitive zones like Himalayas and Northeast India. And along with this, preservation of our biodiversity hotspots is also important. Then medical and wellness tourism, in this we're promoting Ayurveda, yoga, where again, Heal in India initiative is being initiated. And we have National Tourism Policy 2022, which is focusing upon sustainable, technology driven, inclusive tourism model. We are promoting more of PPP partnerships in tourism infrastructure development, like when we are talking about the infrastructure aspect. So tourist circuits are being constructed. Initiatives like Swadesh Darshan, we are focusing upon integrated theme-based circuits like Buddha circuit or the coastal circuit is there. Also in tourism, we are equally focusing upon connectivity. So Udan scheme, Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagarik, enhanced road, rail, air networks for affordable regional air travel. In terms of accommodation also, the role of like budgeted hotels and homestays being promoted, like Incredible India bed and breakfast scheme is there. And in terms of digital tourism, we have introduced e-visa facility. We have again DigiYatra app is being launched. Digital marketing campaigns are there, like Dekho Apna Desh. Even at the state levels, we have like from like Rajasthan or Gujarat. So community participation, rural tourism is being promoted. So we have Ministry of Tourism, we have Indian Institute of Tourism and Travel Management, then Tourism Finance Corporation of India is there, and at again the global level we have the UN World Tourism Organization, better aligned with the tourism policies and the global standards. And INTAC is there in terms of NGOs when you're talking about preservation of heritage sites and promoting cultural tourism, and state tourism boards. So these are some, you can say, words of the future. Take them up as keywords like AI governance. It refers to policies or processes, we can say, where AI can help as a guiding force to us to safeguard and regulate the design and deployment. Like during the G20 presidency of India, India agreed on the need to pursue a pro innovation regulatory governance approach. Then carbon handprint. So here it refers to beneficial environmental impact achieved by an individual, an organization, or any particular product. So impact is achieved through actions like either lower carbon emissions can be there, it can boost carbon capture or sequestration. So for example, we have Mission Life in India. Then 15-minute city. So 15-minute city, it tries to showcase that the like city places, they have all the essential services within this 15-minute radius of the people residing anywhere in the city. So this should be again a part of the smart cities mission that we are aiming for. And flocks. So flocks is a combination of two words meaning flexibility and ox. So ox means indicating resilience. So it's a versatile on demand shared living space which is demand for the remote workers. And it is also having cutting edge amenities at the same time. Gender bonds. So these are social bonds that stir the financing towards women-owned businesses aimed at reducing again gender inequalities. So be it again schemes which promotes investment in women-led MSMEs or SHGs and creator of gender bonds would complement the approach by earmarking specific funds for the gender-focused projects also, and even when we talk about gender-based budgeting. The neuroqueer. So neuroqueer, it blends neuro, which is related to neurological diversity, and queer reflecting non-conformity with the mainstream gender and sexuality constructs. So here, like research indicates that there is more convergence between neurodiverse individuals and members of the LGBTQ community. So inclusive policies and more social support structures can be based on this. RoboCare is again related to robot and artificial intelligence helps in providing you personalized care. Then seasteads. So this is important from the perspective of measures. What measures can be taken up in order to deal with like the rising sea levels because of climate change for the coastal areas or even the island nations? So it is again an idea which promotes floating, self-sustaining townships which are designed to adapt to the rising sea levels. So in India, like other critical infrastructure, which is the road networks, the critical properties located along the coast, in case of Mumbai, Kochi, or Mangaluru, the idea can be implemented. Where again the data states that these cities might get submerged by 2050 because of rising sea level. Then yottabyte era. So it is like a technical term, which is the yottabyte era is related to the global data usage when it reached 1 yottabyte. So 1 yottabyte is equivalent to 1000 zettabyte. So it was in 2016 when global internet traffic reached 1 zettabyte. And zoonosis, infectious diseases affecting humans with origins in animals like HIV, Ebola virus, COVID 19. They have zoonotic genesis. So, zoonotic diseases transmitted from animals to humans. Changing nature of Arctic tundra, or when we're talking about thawing of the permafrost in other areas also like Greenland or Alaska. And also, we have talked up the dimension related to first ice-free day in Arctic could occur before 2030. So here, the data showcases that because again, ice or the biodiversity which is found there is believed to be one of the major carbon sinks. But now the data showcases that because of again melting of the glaciers or deforestation or again more intervention by the humans because the region is getting accessible, the region is releasing more carbon dioxide than it is sequestering. And also for the 11th year in a row, the temperature has also been abnormally high in the Arctic region. So possible implications like taken up day before also, it might lead, the albedo effect might accelerate, trigger more extreme weather events. In terms of the climatic impacts, we're talking firstly calamitous sea level rise one times faster, which is happening from 1990s level, unprecedented challenges to the biodiversity, which is dependent upon the ice cover as per the World Wildlife Fund. And now, when we're talking about the geopolitical tensions, there's territorial disputes, again, competition among the Arctic nations like Russia, US, Canada, Norway, even China over the sovereignty, the resource access, and the trade route. Because now there would be increased accessibility to the northern sea route. There would be claims over the exclusive economic zones by Russia and even by China. Then militarization, so strategic positioning by the Arctic states, and still we see that Russia-Ukraine war is also ongoing, so there might be some influence of that as well. Then economic risk, disruption of the weather patterns, like in case of India, it might impact the monsoon, it might impact again the agriculture cycles is directly related to it, and the food security. Then another economic risk is resource overexploitation, increased access to oil, gas, and then the seabed mining, the polymetallic nodules might again damage the fragile ecosystem which is there. Opportunities that we can think about is shortened shipping routes would be there because of northern sea route, which might reduce the distance between Europe and Asia by about 40% compared to the Suez Canal route that is taken up. So it might make trade more competitive by saving the cost and the time also. Access to resources might help us in gaining access to some renewable energy sources or the methods, and strategic advantage where we see that non-Arctic states like India, China seek opportunities to strengthen presence in the Arctic trade and research also. So in terms of this, India is already a signatory to the Arctic Council observer status. And we have the National Center for Polar and Ocean Research. We have Himadri Station, which is based in Svalbard Island, Norway. So, talking about the role of Arctic Council, it becomes more crucial in fostering global cooperation, in ensuring environmental sustainability, and the member countries includes Canada, because again, Arctic Council was formed on the basis of Ottawa Declaration. So, Canada, Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, Russia, Sweden, and United States. So these are the member countries. So we can just quickly go through what we uh, discussed today. Majorly was universal healthcare, where we have talked about uh, the accessibility. We have talked about the setting up of new aims in terms of again more multi-speciality hospitals. We've talked about insurance sector reforms in terms of focusing on more of preventable healthcare and increasing the penetration of the insurance. Then we have talked about the importance of mental health care and the measures like Manodarpan, we have Mental Health Care Act, and the role of Neem Hunts and telemedicine. Then drug abuse is also related to this. We've talked about national security concern like the cyber slavery, which is ongoing, related to the death triangle, which is there, role of United Nations Human Rights Office or NIA who are taking into this, related to, and this is related to, we can say, unemployment. Then constituents of scientific temper, we have talked about rational thinking, critical analysis, evidence-based inquiry. Then reforms under the Green Revolution 2.0 in the agriculture sector through drones, which is catering to several, we can say, challenges in one hand approach. Then we talked about the importance of inland waterways and development related to making the trade more competitive, tourism more sustainable, reducing the logistics cost, ensuring that it remains sustainable. Then we have talked about importance of and the developmental measures taken up for tourism. India being a global tourism destination through Swadesh Darshan Prasad scheme, through different theme-based tourism that we are promoting cultural tourism. So that's there. And then we have talked about the Arctic Council and the accessibility of the northern sea route because of increased rate of retreating glaciers in the Arctic region and the challenges related to that. So that's
And Mansi, the one more phenomena that is impacting the region is AMOC, that is Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation. जिसकी वजह से also the Arctic tundra is being impacted and various ecosystems are having implications.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much for joining us on Ansarkari. Stay tuned for further detailed discussions going forward.